Welcome to question number 1 from the August 2016 Algebra 2 exam. So in this problem, we're trying to find out which one of the four equations has 1 minus I as a solution. Notice that of the four solutions, they're all quite similar. They all involve a x squared, and they all involve a 2x. So I think what might be helpful is to figure out what those are equal to, knowing that 1 minus I could be a replacement for x. So x squared, we can figure out what that is by taking 1 minus I and squaring it. So if we expand that, we would get 1 minus 2I plus I squared. Well, I squared is the same thing as negative 1, so 1 plus negative 1 would be 0. So all we'd be left with is negative 2I. So no matter what, x squared is going to equal negative 2I. Now let's take a look at 2x, because they all involve 2x. So that would be 2 multiplied by 1 minus I. And if we distribute that out, we would get 2 minus 2I. Okay? So if we wanted to get an equation where we want the i's to cancel out, right? Because on the right-hand side, they're always equal to 0. So we've got a negative 2i and a negative 2i here. So obviously we're not going to be adding them. So we can see that in option number 1 and 2, it's being added. So that's not going to work out. So option 3 and 4 could, because in both cases we're subtracting them. So think of it as negative 2i minus negative 2i would get us to 0. Now that we know we're dealing with x squared minus 2x, let's write out what that would look like. So it'd be negative 2i minus, and in brackets, 2x would be 2 minus 2i. So if we get rid of those brackets, it'd be minus 2 plus 2i, which gets rid of those i's like we were hoping for. But you can see that we're left with this negative 2. So if we want to end up with a result of 0, obviously we would have to add 2 to negative 2. And so we can see out of the four options, the one that adds 2 to x squared minus 2x is option number 4. So that is our correct answer. And by the way, if you're curious, there was a second method you could use to solving this problem, and that would be to realize that if 1 minus I is a solution to this equation, then 1 plus I has to be another. So what you could do is essentially write out x minus 1 minus I multiplied by x minus 1 plus I, and set it equal to 0, because those are our two roots. And then you could expand this, and you would eventually get to the expanded form of being solution number 4. I feel like that might be a little bit more time consuming, but whatever works best for you. Anyway, that's all for this video, and thanks for visiting JD's Regents Preparation.